Welcome, everybody. I cannot believe it is already January 13th. This month is just flying by. And today we have some phenomenal tutors that are going to be sharing their stories and their journey about how they got students through the Jumpstart program. Now, some of you guys are wondering, is this legit? Can I really get students? Can I really make this sustainable? All these kinds of things. I totally get it. You know what? This is a journey, you guys. And the goal that I have for anybody who joins Jumpstart is for you to get one student or a whole lot more. Because once I help you put those pieces in place for getting students and systems in place, it is inevitable that you are going to get more students if you continue to be consistent. And today we have Catherine Morris who's joining us. She ended up getting a student through the Jumpstart program. She got that mission accomplished with us. Hello, Catherine.
Hello.
How are you today?
Doing well.
Wonderful. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, Catherine, like what you tutor, where you're from, all that great stuff.
I'm from South Carolina, and basically I tutor where most of my students are math students. I do have some reading students. I also have two classes that I teach in Belize, English classes. So those are some of the things that I do on a daily basis.
Awesome. And were you able to figure out kind of a niche that you want to focus on for tutoring as you start advertising your business?
Yes, I started focusing on the math because I do get more math students. So that was the direction that I focused on during our class.
Yeah.
So I changed a whole lot of things as far as my website, and which has made a lot of things better.
That's so awesome. Now take me back before you started the Jumpstart program. What was your business and your life like at that point?
Well, my business and was doing pretty good. Basically, as far as having students. I've been doing this for more than 10 years. So I've had students, and basically I had students I kind of keep students once I get them. So I
Nice.
had learned how to do that to keep them coming back, and the math especially keeps them coming back year after year. But where I was stuck at was the exposure and getting more reach or
Mm-hmm.
more people to my website and more people to outside of those people that I have worked with, because I get a lot of people calling from people who have recommended me, but I was not getting the exposure outside of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and there's so many things we can do for the recommendations, not just kind of wait for them to recommend us. I think too. So what were your goals and your motivations when you started the program?
My goals for the program was to take my business a step further. I already had several students, but what I wanted to do was to be able to sustain over a period of time. So that's what I focused on, and that's kind of why I decided to take the class, was to be able to take my business a step further. And so my thing was possibly to do, instead of just one-on-one and online, I wanted to be able to do group.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw opportunity to be able to take the information that I was getting now and focus more on trying to do more group tutoring, because I could, right now, I have 4 geometry students one on one. And so that was my thing. How could I take these 4 students possibly and
Yeah.
just do one class instead of doing 4 different classes? So that was
Yes.
my motivation to take the course.
Yeah. And I remember we even had like a one-on-one session together where we started like chatting about how are we going to make this happen? What are the next steps so that you can take the same group of students for next year and offer
Right.
them that group class. So that's awesome. How did you end up finding Jumpstart?
Ooh, I fell upon Joanne about 4 or 5 years ago, and I
What?
started watching and um wanted to jump in but hesitated. So one morning I just got up and said, now is the time, I need to do this.
Oh my
So
gosh,
that's
I
what
love
I
it.
did. But I have been watching for at least 5 years.
You know, you're not the only one. I have a lot of people who tell me that they've been watching for years and years and years, and then finally they just decided, I'm gonna go and do it. What would you tell other people who hesitated like you about joining the Jumpstart program?
Don't hesitate. Just jump. Cause you learn so much. And I got a list of things that I'm still working on, and I continue to work on daily.
Yeah.
So my advice would be, don't hesitate, just jump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. And you hit mission accomplished. Remember the
Yes,
goal? It was to get one student or a whole lot more. You got one math student. That's fabulous. And you already have a good load of students already that you're also working with. And so now you've learned all of these strategies and apply them to online, which is fantastic. You guys, we have Sarah Harris here. Woo woo. Sarah Harris ended up getting 2 students as she went through the program. And Sarah, tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, what you tutor.
I live in California, just outside the San Francisco Bay Area, just kind of on the outer east part.
Mm-hmm.
And I tutor reading and writing, and then a niche that I actually found during COVID was spelling for students who are strong readers, who are on or above grade level, but they're having a really hard time with spelling.
Mm-hmm.
So that was niche that I found there. And I really focus on K-3 as far as the reading and writing goes. And I have a lot of experience working with students with dyslexia and ADHD and other other challenges.
Yeah, awesome. You're my people. You're my people. You're all my people. You're all my people. But, I still have this special love for my reading people. Sorry, guys.
Of course.
There's that piece of me. I always tell people that, hey, you guys, teaching reading is my passion, but helping you guys is my mission. So I'm so glad that you guys are all here, and you can attest to the work that we've been able to do together. And so before the program, Sarah, take us back before Jumpstart. What was your tutoring business like at that time?
So I had been working, so up until COVID, I had been working at an elementary school for about 5 years as a reading specialist. And then I'd been planning actually on making a transition to starting my own business anyways, because I was tutoring on the side, and then COVID hit and there was such a need. So I just went ahead and went for it and started my business. But then when all the kids went back to school in the fall, my numbers went down. And so I was having a little bit of trouble kind of filling those daytime hours, because my after school hours got booked because that's such a small amount of time. And then I was trying to figure out how to get more students during the day. So my business was probably like 3/4 booked when I started. And I just kind of wanted to get some more tools as far as how to find more students.
And were you able to reach that goal?
Yes.
Yeah. That's awesome,
Yeah.
because people do join for like different reasons. While our goal is for you guys to get one student or a whole lot more, other people are like, I want to know like more about like the back end stuff. Like, what are the strategies for like taking payment, creating my website, and all of these different things too. Like, how do I do some online advertising, all that kind of stuff. So sometimes it's not about just getting a student. People are joining for all different kinds of reasons so that they can just run a more profitable, succinct business overall. So what are some things that you had tried in the past to have like the things that made a difference for you to get those 2 students?
So I think for one thing was actually Craigslist. I started through Jumpstart. There was an awesome part of one of our instruction videos was about how to create a really effective, successful Craigslist post. And I think that was really helpful because I got a whole bunch of inquiries after that. And then the other thing was, how do you talk to parents about who are hesitant to try online tutoring, particularly for younger students like kindergarten and first graders, and how to have that conversation with parents about just the effectiveness of online tutoring and how that can be just as successful as in person. And so there was some information about that in Jumpstart as well. And so that was, I think that kind of helped me tweak my conversation with parents so that I was able to get those students.
Yeah. And how did you end up finding Jumpstart?
I think right around when COVID hit, that was when everything went online. Yep. I started, because I was still doing reading groups at school, and then I had after school tutoring students. So I did a bunch of research and found you on YouTube. And so started, that was how I originally found you. And then just from following you and being on your email list, the Jumpstart came up at a really good time for when I had some space to learn more. And I really want to apply the whole search engine optimization, the keywords and things to my website, because that was another area where I really want to improve and reach more people.
Me too. It's always a work in progress.
Yeah.
And I think the cool thing is, I mean, not cool necessarily, like kind of uncool, is it's always changing. But the cool thing is, as a community, we keep learning together so that we're always on top of like what those strategies are for us to be able to get those students. So that definitely does make a difference. Were there any big like game changing like parts of Jumpstart for you?
I'm just trying to think. I mean, the really silly thing is with Craigslist, because I didn't realize there was a whole section of lessons in tutoring, which I'm kind of embarrassed to admit, but I was looking under education jobs. Yeah. And so that's silly, but that was kind of a big aha. I think the other thing is just along with identifying, just continuing to tweak and identify your services. And just by the inquiries I was getting, another niche that I discovered was that there's a big need for kindergarten tutoring at this point. In the past, I haven't tutored kindergarten because I just didn't really feel like it was appropriate, but now I can see a place for it. And so I think that was kind of an aha for me. Yeah, I mean, I think just overall the program just gave me a lot of supports, and I have a lot of students who are going to age out over the next 6 months. And so now I just have so many tools that I can go back and use to find more students.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And, getting those 2 students, how did that end up making you feel?
Good. Yeah. I was like, all right, I did it. Now I can, and it was even, now I can kind of even breathe a little and step back from just kind of let my schedule settle and then dive back into the whole business part of it and finding more students for when that part comes. But yeah, it was definitely exciting.
Yeah. And a lot of people like, some people, they downplay their achievements, but the goal of the program is to get 1, because you're also learning all the business strategies, like how to have the conversation, how to build your website, all these other things, right? And so some people get more and some people get less, but we always have to remember the goal is to get 1, because you're building those processes, and it's gonna serve you forever and ever. You never lose those skills, which I think is awesome. If you can go back and give somebody advice back in time, like who is like they right now are where you were when you were trying to make that decision, do I join, do I not join, what advice would you give them?
I'd say just go for it because you're getting so many tools, even if you're not able to apply them or you don't have time to watch all the videos right then, you can always come back to it. And I think too, just the other big thing that for me was the group synergy, because being an online tutor, we don't have that community. And so I think just the value in that and how that can kind of get the energy moving in that direction. So having your accountability partners, having your group coaching, having your group coaching, and then having the whole Jumpstart community. I think we undervalue how much that really can actually just help us with our business as a whole. So yeah, I would say just go for it. It's totally worth it.
And were you able to make your money back from what you invested?
Yes.
So there you go, you guys. And I think that's what's important. Like, that's the biggest fear, is that I'm going to put money down on something and it's not going to make me money back. And this is how, getting a degree and, getting education in a specific thing are different. So if I go back to school, I am not guaranteed a job, right? But if you guys join Impact, you are guaranteed that you're going to get a student or a whole lot more, or I'm going to give you your money back, because I want to make sure that this is an investment for you that is going to work for you, not something that is going to cost you money, that something's going to make you money. Right? And we don't know what we don't know. So come join the program so that you can get on in. The link is actually inside of this video. If you're watching it on replay, if you're watching it live, the link is down below. And I believe that that our lovely Beth on the backside there, she's going to grab that link and put it on inside if you guys are ready to take that leap. Next, we have Robin Carbajal. Woot woot! Hello, Robin.
Hello, how's everyone doing?
Fabulous. So glad to see your bright, cheery disposition. You're always amazing. I love it. Don't you guys love her background? That's not a fake background, by the way, guys.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's a real thing.
February,
Like she could
February
really teach. She could really teach that ABC sign there and pull it down. It's like really. Isn't that awesome? I love that background. So pretty and just like warm and inviting. So take us back. Oh, well, actually, why don't you tell us who you are, where you're from, what you tutor, so everybody knows who you are.
Yeah. Okay. So my name's Robin Carbajal. I am a veteran teacher, been teaching for 20 years in Texas, and I've been a dyslexia therapist for the last 15 of those years. So I help kids with
Mm.
reading.
I love it. I love it. You're some of my people, and are you also you're Orton Gillingham trained, right? Right. I
Yes,
said
yes,
right,
absolutely.
right, right, right.
Gordon Gillingham,
Yeah,
dyslexia therapist.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she's got all of that under her belt. And before you joined Jumpstart, take us back to where you were at in your business.
Well, I've been a teacher for 20 years, been in the public school system, and as much as I loved it, loved it, loved it, it is somewhat fatiguing, right?
Mm-hmm.
After all, especially as we get older, it's tiring. And when COVID hit and we were kind of thrown online without any idea of what we're doing, I thought during that time, I thought, you know what? I don't want to lose my skills over the summer. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep tutoring kids over the summer because I didn't want to forget how to teach online. And during that summer, I realized I really like this.
Yeah.
I really like this. And we went back to school for one more year. And during that year, I was still working full time, but I kept a couple of kids after school. And the idea kind of blossomed like, I could do this. So then this year, I left my full time job and am now a full time private dyslexia therapist online.
Oh my gosh. And then you actually joined the Reading Interventionist, right? Before you joined Jumpstart?
That was amazing. Yes. Because, when I started, I thought, reading, dyslexia intervention, I got this, Orton Gillingham. Yeah, that's my thing. I know what I'm doing. And I was so excited because, previously when I was working for a district, I was really constrained to what the district wanted me to do and to teach. And there were so many times I thought, oh, this child could really benefit from something else or from, something different, but I needed to stick with, the program that the district had given me. So I thought, great, I'm on my own. But when I started with students, there was almost this analysis paralysis because there was so many things I could do. And I needed some guidance to be able to shift what I knew for that online audience and that 100% online student in such a way also that was efficient because I was
Mm-hmm.
spending so much time planning, trying to
Mm-hmm.
make the transition on my own. So it was time. It was like someone had just handed me a ticket to this is how you do it. I could have done it on myself. It only taken me several, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years it would have taken me to get to that point. But I thought, you know what? Joanne's already done this.
Yeah.
I'll benefit from her 10 years
Yep.
and step myself up real quick. And oh my goodness, so glad I did. Such a relief to be
Mm.
able to just get online with my student and have content to know what to teach in a way that makes sense for online. That was honestly, the reading intervention program was a lifesaver for sure.
And now you have less lesson planning that you need to do because of it.
So much less. It flows so much more. And it's not, there's the lesson planning, but then there's also organizing the lesson, keeping track of the lesson, keeping track of notes because it's so different. You think in your mind it's not going to be that different. I've been doing this for 20 years. How different can it be? But yet it is. Yet it is very, very different. So anyway, very grateful for that program to help that.
Mm. I love that. So
Mhm.
did you I think I heard you say at one point you did get students too when you were going through reading interventionist programs, so you were able to start kind of using some of those strategies right away.
Yes, yes. Because I had a few students kind of left over from teaching full time.
Mm-hmm.
I had kind of those left over and so forth, but it was just so inefficient and it was so
Yeah.
difficult. So it was this wonderful place where I could practice
Mm-hmm.
and kind of develop a structure and framework for my lessons, my planning, and having a lot more just being intuitive of oh, I have a new student. Now I know I pull from this, I pull from this. If I get to a point where I don't know what to do, I know what to do. I go to Joanne's reading kids A to Z, get my kid on, and I know exactly what to do. So it gave me a lot of plan A, plan B, plan C.
Yes,
plan
yes.
D.
Because and on the internet, you need that.
You need plans. You need to know what happens if. And it gave that to me for sure.
Yep. Yeah, I found quite often that, you know, let's say that the student today is having an off day on their computer. It's a slow Wi-Fi day. Certain activities are going to work better than other activities. And it's like, I can just like make that switch like that without it even being an issue or problem. Very seamless. They have no idea that that switch just happened, but it's like, look, this is not going to be an effective activity because of the slowness there. Like, I cannot show a video to you on a day that you're having a slow day because all you're going to say to me is, it's glitchy. It's not working right. And so it's like, if I already know I got a bad connection that day, I'm not showing a video. Like, I can make some of those like on the spot moment kind of decisions, which like really makes it really, really awesome. So, how did you end up, did you find out about Jumpstart because of reading Interventionist? Is that how you found out about it?
Yeah, I guess that's how it happened. Originally, I found you just trying to figure out online teaching in general. I think it was actually from LinkedIn. I found you on LinkedIn.
Nice.
So,
I'm there.
Yes, you are. And what's also really cool? You connect to someone on LinkedIn, and I saw that you had this business going and so forth. And frankly, I wasn't expecting you. I asked to be friends with you or whatnot.
Yeah.
On LinkedIn. You messaged me back. We had a conversation. That was probably as a school teacher, you're not on LinkedIn. Most of us aren't, right? But as the idea was blooming and I'm starting to think about a business and so forth, I thought, I'm going to try out this LinkedIn. You were one of the very first people that I asked to connect with on LinkedIn and to actually have you respond, for real, and to have you respond back with a message. I was like, oh, she's a live person. And to be able to type back, that really impressed me. I think, honestly, it was that quick little connection, messaging me back that I was like, whoop, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
I want more of that.
And I would have to say a lot of that, okay, I'm going to get spiritual on you guys. A lot of that is God-led, okay, because I am not on LinkedIn 24/7. LinkedIn for me sometimes is like I might tap into LinkedIn every 2 weeks. So like I'm definitely on Facebook and Messenger. People have a better chance there. So the fact that like I responded very quickly, that is completely God-led because I'm not there all the time. Like, so who knows like why I decided to go on in that day and respond. But I do respond when I can or when I see things or that kind of stuff because I am a real person, and I was so glad that you had, I'll always ask a question like, oh, thanks for connecting with me. If somebody's just connecting and they didn't write a response or anything to why they want to connect with me, I'll just be like, so what motivated you to connect with me? And I just start the conversation because I figure, for me, LinkedIn isn't about numbers. I'm not there to just try to like up my numbers. In fact, I don't even search out numbers. People search me out. So my goal is really if I'm going to be on there, I'm going to interact with people. I'm not going to just friend people and like try to grow my network and then it means nothing, especially since you can only have, I think, like 5,000 connections. So I want those 5,000 connections to be the people I want to connect with. I love it. That's a cool story. I did not know that, Robin. So thank you for sharing that with me. Were there any big game changes for you as you went through Jumpstart?
Yes. I'm thinking so many. The first one I think that came to mind, though, I would say is that sales conversation. Because that was something that we talked about kind of early on. And I was spending that initial conversation, I was spending too much time. Again, too many things to choose from, too many things to talk about, too many things that I could help a student with. And what I learned from that free evaluation, that sales conversation, is how to give the most critical pieces of information more quickly, because when you're in business, time is money. I need to be able to give each student exactly what they need, but in a timely manner, because when you get going with Jumpstart, your time becomes more limited. You have more people that want your help, and you need to be able to help each one and help them to the best of your ability to help and give them exactly what they need. But you can't take too long doing that. You can't make something stretched out. If it could be done in 30 minutes, then you don't want to take 45. If it could be done in an hour, you don't want to take an hour and a half. You want to be able to be efficient. I think
That's a big goal of mine, is to teach efficiency throughout the program, because I'm an extremely efficient person, I feel, when it comes to systems and processes and putting those in place. And so I want to help other people be efficient so that they can spend more time tutoring and less time having to manage the backside of their business.
Yes, because I think that right there is the biggest aha moment, is that when you first start, and whatever background we came from, most of us came from teaching of some type. We don't know how to have a business. We don't know how to run a business. We don't know how to arrange it. We're used to coming in and having, in a school district, all of the infrastructure done for you. There is none of that when you're doing it on your own.
Right.
But you provided that in the Jumpstart program. You provided that infrastructure. It seems silly, but you need to have a procedure. You need to have a procedure when a student contacts you, because you don't want to make it up fresh, brand new, every time you're contacted, which essentially is what I was doing.
Yeah.
While yet covering the same information, more or less, but it was really a relief to be able to know, if this happens, then I do that. To have an if then, to have that infrastructure, so to speak, online, a virtual infrastructure, which is really, it's a virtual structure. That Jumpstart provided.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. So if you're actually, so how many students do you have? You had 4 students from the program. How many students do you have currently right now?
Gosh, I don't even know. So my after school hours are completely filled. So I got 4 more students from Jumpstart. The week after Jumpstart, I got an additional student. And actually today, through the connections that I've made through Joanne, through Jumpstart, I was also given a referral to another student in New York, which I'm very excited about, because I want to be able to reach out to other time zones. That's something else a lot of people hadn't thought about. I hadn't thought about that, but you can really make time zones work to your advantage when you are online. So, I you know what, I'd have to, because I've had a lot of students, I'd have to go back and count, but I can just say I'm filled after school and I'm starting to work on after school in other time zones. And then my next step is beginning to fill up the daytime hours with homeschoolers.
That's awesome. Now I'm going to ask you a personal question. If you decide to say, I'd rather not answer that, you are more than free to do that. But this is the thing that people want to know who are listening on the other side. How much are you able to bring in a month? Each month?
Oh, wow. So it depends on the month, but I'm just getting started here. So $2,000-3,000.
Nice. $2,000 or $3,000 a month with all the information that she's learned. I would say that's definitely worth the investment. What do you think? Yeah, for sure. And you're just going to keep growing from here, because we've connected now, right? And so I've connected her with another client, right? That there might be a possibility that she works there. She's going to connect with other people inside of the program. That's going to be other referral sources. You can rely on things that are referral sources, not just from from your good work, but from your good networking and your connections that you're making as well. And I think a lot of people have not been able to see the power of that until they jump on into the program. So that person who is sitting there and they're like, I'm not sure if I'm going to join or if I'm going to be able to make my money back, or should I do this? What would you say to them?
Oh, heavens, you make your money back. Oh, yes. And then some. And then some. Yeah, definitely. Even though I'm teaching now, essentially, my teaching is 3 to 4 hours a day, and I'm making about half of what I was making teaching in 3 to 4 teaching hours a day. That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely you can replace your income.
You
Absolutely.
can replace your income. You absolutely can. And that was my goal when I started in the beginning. I just wanted to make $50,000 a year. I'm like, if I can do that, then I know that I never have to go back into the school system. And as soon as I did that, and I was like, okay, now I'm going to jump up my prices and start charging more. And in fact, our next person here, that's exactly what she did. Natalie Morales has raised her prices. She's got an incredible story to share with us. She used to be on, get this, on the radio. She was a radio. Were you a radio DJ, radio talk host? What did you do, Natalie?
Radio talk show host.
Nice. I love it. She was a radio talk show host. You guys are going to be able to hear how clear and succinct she is when she talks. I love it. I could just like listen to her all the day long. Tell everybody where you're from and what you tutor, Natalie.
Hey everyone, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago and I tutor reading and creative writing. And I am so happy that I took this jump. And this might sound weird, but I have this secret jump theme song and it goes like this. It's a local song and I can't sing, but I'll say it. On the count of four, I want you to jump, jump, jump like you never jumped before. And ever so often I would sing that and I would have it like a recording, because when I jumped, in the Jumpstart, I really wanted to jump in deep and dive deep into it, because this is what I do. I do not have a plan B. This is my plan A, so it must work. I do not ever intend to look for a job. It is my business. But I had never seen it like a business before. So I never operated like a business. Or I work on the radio, but I teach reading part-time. But it has always been my love. And now I'm able to earn money by it and just do exactly what I love. Sometimes my husband would tell me, I think you should start paying the parents, because he has seen that I am really, really happy. It's something that I love doing. I love meeting these little ones and I love teaching them to read. I cannot talk about Jumpstart if I don't mention Reading Interventionist. And exactly what Robin said is exactly what happened. When I saw Joanne, I started looking at your videos and I would binge watch you, yes. And even my husband knows your voice, right? So he said, Natalie, you really love her. So I would say, yes, I do. There's something about her, because I was looking for, so yes, you are, you are online, you do come into Google, because I was searching the same thing for teaching online. And that's when you came up. And I could have looked at hundreds of other people, but you latched onto me. Whatever you were saying, you seemed so genuine. And I realized, so whenever I'm asked to describe you, I would always say Joanne is a real person, because sometimes we enroll into a program and we do not expect to hear from the person who is doing the program. No way. But that's just, it's not so with you. So that was a big seller for me. And I just wanted to, because I had been teaching reading part-time for a little over 10 years, but I knew that something was missing. And I just wanted to be the best. So how could I be the best? But I just wanted to learn from the best. So at the time I was teaching and charging, hear this, US $30 per month per student. And after doing the Reading Interventionist, because I knew that, okay, so Joanne said, this is what you'll do at the end of the program. That's exactly what happened. It was like magic, because I now could also close the reading gap an entire year in 8 to 10, 12 sessions, and sometimes even 2 years. So it was just like magic, because the program I'd been using before, yes, children were learning, but they were learning, they were laughing, they were enjoying it. But now I didn't have to start with them from the very beginning. Now I knew exactly where to begin with them. Right? So nobody was becoming tired or bored, and nobody was being overly challenged. It was just the right place. So now that I knew, okay, this is it, I can do this. Now, because of Jumpstart, I can speak a language that the world understands.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. Well said. Now, you were charging $30 an hour when you first got started. And
$30
you,
per month, Joanne.
$30 a month?
Month per student, yeah.
Okay, I did not realize that.
Yeah,
I missed that part. And now you're
Because
charging
it-
$50 an hour?
correct. Because it was a pandemic and we are in Trinidad and Tobago. Who would charge that? And then who would give me a review? Because we're so small, everybody would know that your child struggles with reading. No way, all assumptions, and we should just get rid of those.
Yes. So many
Yeah.
people fall into that
Mm-hmm.
mindset. Because I live here, I can't charge that, right?
Yeah.
And so now, how much money are you able to make in a month, Natalie?
Over 2,000 US.
That's amazing. And I'm sure for in the area that you live, like that's some substantial money because the cost of living is also lower in Trinidad, right? Is it? Maybe? I don't know. Oh, it's actually higher? Oh, okay. So the things that I know, I tell you, I did not know that about Trinidad. So the cost of living is
Yeah.
actually higher there. But you got 10 students throughout this program.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. You are definitely. Now, when you would you say that you were making, when you think about your time, are you making more being able to tutor students or from the radio show? Which one was bringing you in more income?
This, because at the radio show, because a lot of people think because it's the radio, because you're working in the media, you're being paid well, but it's really to promote yourself. So it was like living from paycheck to paycheck. But now if I want to go shopping, I can go. I don't have to wait for month end to do that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. So she has the ability to make more income than her last job. And I think that's the beauty of this is people just do not realize the income opportunity that is here for them and how much money they're leaving on the table if they don't do that, right? So that could be $6,000 on the table if she did not make that decision 3 months ago to join into Jumpstart. You know, and a lot of us don't think that way. We just think, oh my gosh, it costs so much money.
Yeah.
I want people to really think about how much would it cost for you to go back to school, and would you even be able to get a job if you went back to school? Because a lot of people we have here in the U.S., I don't know if you have this in Trinidad, but the jobs like working at like grocery stores or even being like a waitress, those kinds of things, we're having a hard time paying people to take those positions because they're wanting to get better and go on into their profession. So there's more competition in the profession area. And then there's this huge lack of employees, you know, for some of these other jobs because people are looking to try to better their lives during the pandemic and all that great stuff. But now they're not able to get a job at what they got trained for, because
Correct.
the competition is so high. So, you know, it can be really crazy. And here you have like complete control over all of these things. And I absolutely love it. For people that are on the fence, I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, but I'm going to let you say it. What do you tell them?
I would say jump like you never jumped before.
I love it. I knew the song was going to come up. You're going to send me a copy of that song. I love it. It's probably not in a language I can understand, right?
Some of it you might be able to understand.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
But because it's a little fast and it's jumpy, it's catchy.
I love it.
But I will look for the lyrics and I will send you the link, definitely.
I love it. Awesome, awesome. And you guys, we have Roberttravers here. And Robert is our Tutorpreneur Hero Award winner! Woo! Some of you guys might be wondering, what's that? Well, the person who gets the most points as they go through Jumpstart wins the Tutorpreneur Hero Award. And that is our very own Roberttravers. Congratulations, Robert!
Thanks, Joanne. I mean, I remember I sent you a message a few months ago saying that this was going to happen, and
You did.
Here we are.
You did. I remember you saying that, and I was thinking, oh, that's interesting. because I used to give the award, you guys, in our Insider Secrets Club, and I've moved the award into Jumpstart. So I was like, wonder if he's confused that I don't give that award inside of Insiders anymore. And nope, he knew exactly. He was going to go through the program again. He was going to take it again, and he was going to get that award. So, and that he did. He got the most students as he went through the program. Robert, how many students did you get as you went through the program?
I think I lost count at about 12.
You lost count at about 12. I love it. And, your life does get so busy that all of a sudden you're like, I don't know. I don't know how many students I got. That's amazing. And you guys, I'm going to let Robert share a little bit about who he is, what he tutors, and then share a little story about our last experience together. So, Robert, tell everybody who you are.
Sure. So my name is Roberttravers. I'm a online math tutor from the great state of Maine, and I am the king of calculus.
That's right. We call him our king of calculus, and he comes on into Clubhouse, and he has written on his description he's a king of calculus. I had actually somebody who asked me, do you know somebody who teaches calculus? I'm like, I know the king of calculus. Refer to him right away. It's amazing how those kinds of things actually stick in your mind. You don't realize that. But there's actually power in that. In fact, I'm not here getting in a debate over who or who does not like Trump, but Trump puts an image into people's minds to help them believe negatively about them. And he does it on purpose so that he is elevated when people think about them. Like when the last presidential election, he called Biden Sleepy Joe Biden, right? He had this negative connotation associated with him, and which means like, I'm not sleepy, I'm whatever, right? So these kinds of things actually do stick mentally with people. So I always remember him as the king of calculus. So he comes up in my mind. So think about how you guys can be smart and tricky like that. Now, Roberttravers and I, he signed on up a year ago to come with me in Florida, and the pandemic just got worse, kind of like situation we're at right now. So, and he's like, I don't know if I can make it. And he was all bummed. And then I did another trip. I said, hey, I'm going to be doing this conference, but I want to go with other tutors. So who wants to come with me? I'll organize, where we stay, all that kind of stuff. And all you have to do is get your ticket and come and join me. And he's like, I'm in. I missed the last one. I'm not missing this one, which is good because it may have been my last one. I don't know, Robert. I may or may not do in-person events. I don't know. I haven't decided. So he got in and he came and he showed up. He got so pumped up. We got to hear Tony Robbins speak, and I got to see him like jumping in the air, like he just don't care. And it was awesome. And then Jumpstart started. He actually signed up that weekend. That we were together for the Jumpstart that was going to be opening on up. So Robert is actually going through this program for a second time. So Robert, why did you decide to join a second time?
I felt like I wasn't where I wanted to be business-wise. I mean, I had a couple students here and there, and that was good and all, but I really felt like I got complacent, and I wanted to go back, and back to basics, I guess you could say.
Yeah. And sometimes we just need to do that, right? Like the first time people go through this, there is a lot of content. And because we're not from the world of marketing, a lot of us are from the world of teaching. We know a lot about teaching. We don't know a lot about marketing. And so there's a lot of brand new stuff that's coming at us. SEO and, all the social media that we're not even on. And, and so there can be times where we feel overwhelmed by the information, and to go back and go through it can be so helpful. And you were accountability partners with Natalie. Is that correct?
That's right.
Awesome. You guys, you teamed up, man. You guys were a powerhouse. I love it. You guys had another person in your team too. Who is the other person in your team?
Janice.
Yes. Oh my gosh, what a great group you guys to connect with. Amazing. And so, what was your experience the second time around? Like, what were some of the differences that you noticed for yourself, Robert?
I noticed. That's a good question, Joanne.
She's you stumped me.
I think the biggest thing that I noticed was how easy everything was, as far as once one how easy it was to get stuff done. I mean,
Yeah.
I already had stuff from before,
Mhm.
but I found myself reflecting a lot more, saying, okay, how can I make this better this time?
Yeah, that's a great point because like we do different assignments and that kind of stuff. So as you go through, you're like, okay, now that I know more about, let's say, my ideal client, I can add more information inside on my empathy chart because I've actually been listening now to parents. Some people, when they start doing some of these activities, they don't know how to get inside the mind of their ideal client because they haven't actually had conversations with them to know. And so now that you've had those conversations, you can reflect back on that and say, okay, what are some other things I've been hearing or seeing or all of that kind of stuff, which is fantastic. And what was your goal and your motivation when you joined Jumpstart? I know you wanted to win Tutorpreneur Hero Award, but like deep down inside, like what was your biggest goal?
My biggest goal, other than winning the Tutorpreneur Hero Award, because I have to admit that was the goal going in. But I think my biggest goal was to get fully booked.
Yeah. And did that happen for you?
I got close.
Close. That's awesome. You know what? And this is where like close actually matters, guys, because like I set a goal this year to get on 50 podcasts, but I didn't track it. And I got on like 20. Is that bad? No, that's all extra exposure, right? That's great. That got me a lot closer to my goal. And for you to be close to book solid, that's incredible. Fantastic. Congratulations. That's amazing. How did that make you feel to get as many students as you got this time around?
I was honestly shocked, especially the first 3 weeks where it seemed like I was just getting students left and right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I remember the last time you went through the program, you got one student right at the end, right?
Yep.
Right at the end. And which sometimes that's just the eye opener for a lot of people. It's like, oh, this stuff works. like people really are surprised. Were any of you guys surprised when you went into the program, you got that first student? You're like, wait, this stuff works. Did that happen for any of you guys? Yeah, I'm seeing some head nodding here. Yeah, that definitely happens. Like we're surprised that when we take the right actions that we're going to get students. But I think in the beginning we start focusing on just what we think are business actions, and we don't focus on income producing actions. And when we focus on income producing actions, it makes the shift into us being able to make more money, which is really, really awesome. Were there any big aha moments as you went through this the second time, Robert?
There were, especially when I was with my accountability partners.
Yeah.
Helping them go through a program and learning from them as well.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like because you had gone through it, you just had a little bit more background knowledge about the program specifically, which then meant that you could actually teach some of the stuff to them. And when we teach something to somebody else, it sticks more, right? We know that as teachers. And so that had the opportunity to really happen for you. And what do you see as being possible for you now, Robert?
I'm for getting fully booked, obviously, because I think I'm maybe 2 or 3 clients away.
Ah, that's
from that.
awesome.
And then I'm starting to look at, okay, what's next?
Yes.
I'm gonna be able to raise my prices here soon.
Yep. I love it. And Natalie did that. Well, I didn't even realize, you guys, that it was $30 a month. I thought she was charging $30 an hour. So to go up from $30 a month to $50, an hour, incredible. Most of us aren't going to be able to make that kind of a shift, but I went from 75 to 100. It almost feels like the more that you go up, like the more often you go up, and I'm not saying do it frequently, but like each year kind of reevaluate my prices and that kind of stuff. But it seems like I just go up even more than what people would expect. So what are you charging now, Robert?
I'm charging $50, and the next price hike I'm going to do is $62.50.
Nice. $62.50. Why not $65? Yeah, I'm asking you a question. $65 it is. Don't make it complicated. $65 it is. All right, I just gave you a raise, $2.50. You're welcome.
Perfect.
See, so perfect for being here.
The reason why I chose $6,250 was because I charged $200 per month and then $400 per month. So the next would be $250 and $500, which divided by 4 and 8 respectively give you $6,250.
Got it.
But now,
so it worked out better. But 65 is a lot easier to say than 6,250. You know, it's just a lot easier to say. So 65 it is. It's so funny because last year Max was in Florida with me, and he was talking about how he wanted to raise his rates, but he was scared about his students and all that. And we talk about raising rates inside of the program. But I just looked at him and I said, okay, Max, what are you charging now? And he's like, 60. I said, okay, you're going to stop charging 60 and you're going to make 75. And he's like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah. You're going to stop charging 60. Because he's like, I want to be able to make more money, but I don't really want to work with more students. I said, I've got a solution. He's like, what? I go, you go to 75. Now, when you add up the amount of students that you have and how many students you want, you can take on a few less students and be able to do what you love, getting paid what you're worth. And he's like, ooh, I don't know. I'm like, Max, you're worth it. You can do it. Now, I'm not giving this advice, you guys, to people that have zero experience teaching, okay? I know Max, and I know his teaching worth, and I know what he's able to do for students. So don't misunderstand me. But when he's like, okay, he had to get over his own mental block of paying 75. Because here's what happens. We think in our minds, we wouldn't pay that much money. So why would other people want to pay us that much money? And we have to get over that to say, I'm worth this much money, and the value I add for these kids is amazing, and parents are going to be happy to pay it. And they are when they see the results. They might not be on the front end of paying it, but when they see the results, they are. So it is incredible what can happen for your tutoring business. So those of you guys who are looking to join us in Jumpstart, there is a link down below in the video. So click that, join us. And also, if you like this channel, you like hearing other people's stories, hit that subscribe, hit that like. It helps me to continue to spread the message and the word about what I do, and share it with a friend. Tell them about, what we do here in this community and what we're trying to accomplish. And really, I would love to be able to help 1 million teachers and tutors be able to reach their income goals in their life. That is my goal as a tutor coach, is to be able to help you guys help make that happen for yourselves. And Robert, there are some people, they're still sitting on the fence. They've heard everybody's story today. They're sitting on the fence and they're like, I don't know if this is going to be a right fit for me. Like, I don't know if I should do this. It's too much money. They're just sitting on the fence. Like, should I, shouldn't I? Will I make my money back? How much are you making right now each month, Robert?
Right now I'm looking at over $2,000.
Nice. So over $2,000 each month. He has a possibility of more. He's going to raise his prices now to 65, right? That's going to bring in more income. He's going to get some more students at that rate, and some of his other students are going to kind of disappear over time. He doesn't have to raise his rate with them if he doesn't want to. He can if he wants to, but he doesn't have to. Raise the rate with the new people coming on in, and he's going to be able to make more money even than that. So awesome. So if you could tell somebody who is on the fence about joining Jumpstart, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to do it. I mean, there's no question that you're gonna make your money back and more. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a reason why Joanne makes that guarantee that you'll get 1 student or more, because it happens. If you put in the work, mm-hmm. There's no way it doesn't happen.
Yeah. If you don't put in the work, it's not going to happen. And that's what I saw happen when I first started coaching, is I would give people advice and tell them exactly what to do, but then they wouldn't take action. And so then they didn't get results. And we both felt like crap after that exchange, right? They feel like crap because they invested this money and they feel like it didn't work. I feel like crap because I didn't motivate them to the point where they wanted to take action. Right? And so it was like, this isn't working. But when we put it in this format, we make it a fun game for you guys so that you can you can be energized and you can be excited to get the results that you want to be able to get. Anything is possible. When you start putting these principles into practice, I promise you, you're going to be excited. You're going to be more excited about tutoring online than you have ever been before. And I don't tell anybody who starts that has a full-time job, don't quit your full-time job in the beginning. Like, get your business up and going. And then when you can prove to yourself that you can make this a full-time income and make even more money, then you leave your job, right? So I'm all about you guys being smart about this process and not burning yourself out. Some of you might say, you know what, Joanne, with that in mind, summer might be a better time for me. It might be. Maybe now isn't the right time for you. The only people that are going to be able to answer that question is you and your higher power. So seek that higher power, whoever that is for you, and ask, is this the right time for me? Because I promise you, your higher power will not let you down. They will guide you in the exact direction that you need to go. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining us today. Such huge accomplishments. You guys are an amazing part of our community. So glad to have you. It's been a pleasure getting to know each of you one-on-one and as a group. And such amazing stuff. In fact, I'm going to give you guys a huge boom cha. You guys at home, give them a boom cha with me. If you haven't seen a boom cha, here's how it goes. I'm going to punch my hands out to the screen, and then I'm going to wiggle my fingers back. Are you guys ready for your boom cha here? Are you ready? You're going to be receiving. All right. 1, 2, 3. Boom! Sha! Thank you guys so much for joining us, and you enjoy the rest of your day.